Okay, so for part two of the fuel system, we have the fuel line that is now coming from the fuel pump, and this is the return line. And so basically you want to run it up in there so that it's over the whole IRS system. You're not going to get it caught in a half shaft. It's not going to touch any kind of exhaust, anything like that. So with that line here, it comes down on the other side, and basically we're going to run it along the subframe connector on the bottom of the body here, and we zip tied it right now. But what we did is we took those little C-clips that came with it with self-tappers and just drilled them into the actual subframe connectors. So the line now travels up against the body like this, and you can see how tight we have it against the body. We don't want it to get caught in the steering column here with the little steering shaft, and we don't want it to hit any hot exhaust. So as it comes out here, it's now going to mount to the fuel rail pressure sensor area on the fuel rail, and so it will replace that fuel rail pressure sensor. And now we also ran our power wire through the body of the car. Now as for the regulator, we're going to mount it where the fuel rail pressure sensor went, right here. At the bottom of the regulator too, that you can't see right now on the bottom side, there was an Allen screw we needed to remove and put some pipe sealant on so it wouldn't leak. As for this line, make sure that it goes to a boosted vacuum line so that the regulator knows to send more power once the car sees boost. Now we're just taking the line that's coming from the fuel tank that we've routed, and we're spinning on our new fitting just like we did in video 1. So if you need help with that, go back to video 1. It has this piece that slides in next that expands everything. So with that, you want to put a little bit of WD-40 lubricant onto the threads, and that'll help you thread it in. And so once you get that in there, go ahead and get your 7/8 inch wrench, and we're going to go ahead and put that on the end here and just tighten it down. So you will need 2 wrenches, one to hold the back piece in place and then the next one to spin on the new piece. And so just get it snug and tight. It doesn't need to be too tight. You don't want to break anything. And then we'll just slide this back onto the regulator and it will tighten down. And so just make sure that you're not spinning it so tight that it ends up loosening anything else up. It just needs to go on good and snug, and you'll check for some fuel leaks afterwards. But make sure that the line is not touching hot exhaust or anything, and it's routed. So here we are, we tightened it all the way down, and we're good to go now. Just make sure the bottom of the regulator, again, there was an Allen that was somewhat loose. We had to take it out and put some pipe sealant on it and put it back on, and that was on the very bottom of the regulator. So with everything hooked up, the car started right up, and so I'm just going to show you an engine shot here. Unfortunately, my brother had finished putting everything together. I wasn't around for that, so I couldn't videotape every single part of it like I usually do, so apologies for that. But here it is running with the regulator installed, and everything was good. He did have to, again, remove that regulator to put that pipe sealant over the little bolt that was going in the bottom of the regulator, so I don't know why they had that so loose and messed up. But anyway, this is how the car's running now. It was has the startup tune that you had to get sent to you as well so it would run, and other than that, everything was looking pretty good on it. Okay, with everything set up now, we just needed to make sure that the power was going with the fused line. So here's what it looks like now with the fused power line going to the battery. So that's all that there really is to it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer it. But the screw in the very front of the regulator is how you adjust pressure, and then usually have it set up to maintain that 35 or so PSI as soon as you get it.